What would happen if we just focused on ourselves for 10 straight days?
So I'm going to make this a 10-day challenge. I'll be starting on the 1st of June, and I'm just going to be focusing on myself and my goals for the next 10 days. I just wanted to start on the 1st of June, kind of like a reset. And I think focusing on yourself and your goals and what you want to achieve during those 10 days is going to set you up greatly for the rest of the month and hopefully the rest of the year. I'll be focusing on 3 main areas, that is hot, rich, and overeducated. So let's go over what each of those categories are. So for hot, I'm focusing on nutrition, exercise, and general self-care. So for rich, just managing my money better, checking on my investments, and trying to build up my income in other areas. And overeducated, that's going to be for me reading books. I'm doing a course at the moment. I'm also going to try and split things into either a morning routine or a night routine just to make it easier to stick with. So let's go over what I'm doing in each section in case you want to do one too. So let's start with hot. The first thing I'll be doing is stopping alcohol. No alcohol during the 10 days. Now, I do like a very well-made cocktail, but I kind of think that you need a reset every now and then. I just think with alcohol, it tends to be kind of a crutch when you're going out to socialize. And specifically for me, it impacts my sleep and sometimes my moodiness the next day. So I really want to focus on being more healthy and mindful, and who needs the unnecessary calories anyway? Next is exercise. I've been slacking a little bit in this area. So for during those 10 days, I'm only allowed 2 skip days, and the rest of it, I have to at least do 30 minutes of walking. I've got a gym upstairs, so I'm going to use the treadmill. But if you don't have a gym, you can walk outside. And if the weather isn't great, I used to go to a shopping center and just do laps around the shopping center. It was really great in summer when it was too hot to walk outside and the shopping centers are air conditioned. So that's what I did when I was trying to get some steps in. I also want to start a weights routine. I'm not big on weights, but only because I don't know what to do. I'll probably just start with a few YouTube videos and follow their routines. Food, at the start of each week, I like to make a meal plan, just a rough meal plan, just so I have an idea of what I'm going to have each of the nights. This is mainly for dinner, but sometimes for lunches as well. I just find that having a plan of what I'm going to have means that I'm more likely to get the ingredients, and so I'm not going to be sitting there on the night just wondering what I'm going to have for dinner. A couple of the websites I like for trying to pick meals, I like the eatingwell.com, and there's also one called skinnytaste.com that I really like that had some really healthy recipes. So those are the 2 that I mainly use. Now self-care, I'll be incorporating into my nighttime routine. During the nighttime routine, I just want to calm and keep things really simple. It's putting on relaxing music, sometimes jazz. I've been listening to the Tortured Poets department a lot, which is starting to be one of my favorite Taylor albums. And then just doing the usual like face masks, skincare routines, hair care routines, and probably reading as well. I'll also be focusing on sleep during the 10 days and trying to do everything I can to make sure that my sleep is good. I can suffer from insomnia quite a lot, so I really want to focus on getting that right. That might mean cutting back on caffeine. I haven't decided on that. As long as I can get high quality sleep and at least 8 hours, that's what I'll be focusing on. And at the end of the challenge, I'm doing 1 physical upgrade. Now this could be anything, could be a hair appointment, could be new clothes or makeup. I'm going to be booking a lash lifted tint. I've never done one before, so it's going to be new for me. So that's going to be my physical beauty upgrade. Second thing I'll be focusing on is the rich category, and that is money. Now first up, yes, you need a budget. You need to manage your money and you need to make sure you know where your expenses and your income is coming from. Now, a budget doesn't need to be restrictive. I think a budget is just about having control over your money. It allows you to allocate where you want your money to go. For me, particularly, I like experiences and going out to dinner more than I like things. So a lot of my clothes and things around the house are less expensive, but I like to spend money going out. So that's how I balance and manage my money. The goal of a good budget is to make sure that you're spending less than you earn and you have some money left over. That money you want to save and eventually invest. Now you can invest in anything. I like the stock market, but you could invest in property, you could invest in business. Anything that brings in some sort of cash flow is a great thing to invest in. And of course, I'll be looking at ways to increase my income as well. So the first thing I want to do is try and monetize this channel. I'm also doing a bunch of writing things too, which I'll let you know about if they sort of pan out. It won't happen within the 10 days, but starting that plan during the 10 days is what I plan to do. So let's move on to the last one. Overeducated. So I am a book girly. I love learning. I loved learning in school and at university, and it hasn't stopped. I've always wanted to keep learning. Now currently I'm just doing one of the free Yale courses on philosophy. I'm up to week 3, I think, so loving that. But I'm also reading. Right now I'm reading 101 Essays That Would Change the Way You Think by Brianna West. I've only just started, so I'm only this far in. but I'm hoping to finish that within the next 10 days. I always think it's important to try and increase your knowledge on things. Now, you don't have to read, you don't have to do a course. One of the best things I think is trying to learn emotional intelligence, and yes, you can learn that. It's so underrated and so rare these days. You could also work on habits. One of the things I picked up from Atomic Habits that I just recently finished, yes, I was late to the game with that book, was to make the bad habits as unappealing as possible, and what good habits you want to replace them with as appealing and pleasurable as possible, because we tend to want to go for the easiest, laziest options. So if we make the bad habit really difficult to do, like having no junk food in the house, and making the good habit really easy and pleasurable to do, so maybe that's having amazing, fresh, delicious food if you're trying to eat more healthy, but definitely make the good habit as fun and pleasurable as possible, and the bad habit something you just don't want to do because it's too much effort. Also in this category, because it doesn't really fit anywhere else, in my morning routine, I'll be just going over what I plan on doing for the day. I like just writing it on a piece of paper. Sometimes I write it in my notes app, but you might like to-do lists, you might like calendar blocking, but just taking 10 to 15 minutes each morning on what you plan to do for the day is really going to help you focus more on what you want to get done. I only like to write down no more than 5 things, 3 to 5 things that I absolutely want to get done that day. And if I get more done, then that's great, but those are the things that I focus on for that particular day. Focusing on yourself for 10 days or for however long you want to is not selfish. It's also not about neglecting the ones you love. It's just about putting yourself first. You want to make yourself the priority in your own life, and if you're giving yourself that care and love, you're more likely to be able to give it to other people as well anyway. So work out the person you want to be and start making steps towards being her. Actions always come first when you're changing who you want to be, then you start to embody and believe it in yourself. But actions always come first, which is why we're setting those goals and achieving them. Good luck with the challenge. I hope you'll join me, and let's have fun over the next 10 days and focus on ourselves.